Hello, hello! Let's talk about Mother Whale again. I believe this is the third time I cover this boss on my channel. This time we're going to be talking about her in Elysion. So, the Mother Whale is one of the most annoying bosses to tackle with Elysion only, unless you have Diesel's treasure. I'm going to cover this really quickly, because I know there's people that are fan of Diesel, and they actually got her treasure, and then just stopped. Reason why I mentioned this is because Diesel, unironically with her treasure, breaks this fight. If you ever at something simple as like 444, I don't even know if you even need overload in the first place, but I think you don't really. You can, because our taunt lasts longer thanks to the treasure, you can just taunt everything, face tank everything, and it doesn't matter. Obviously, you still have to kill mobs, I believe, but still, for the most part, the boss cannot hurt you, which is great. It also means Guillotine can be at low HP and do much more damage as a result, which is great. Also, the elite mobs just can't kill you because you take damage, but for every time you take damage, you heal back thanks to the treasure. So, you are more or less immortal for that fight with Diesel. Now, for people who actually do not invest in Diesel because she is a pretty mediocre unit, this is the guide for you. Oh, and before people ask, how good is Guillotine for this fight? How good is Maiden for this fight? Unfortunately, there's no spot for them. Yeah, even though Maiden would be phenomenal as a booster for that team, you need absolutely everyone on this team. They all do their own job, so you can't exactly have Maiden in there. Marciana is there for heals, Private is there to one-shot waves, D is there for CDR and Burst 1, Private is here for stun, and Guillotine is there for hit rate as well, or hit count, I should say. High rate of fire, if you prefer. And so is Private, to be fair. She also does do the same thing on that front. So, you honestly don't even have to shoot with D here. It's just by habit that I'm doing this. Once you see projectiles starting to fly toward you, you can use Made Private to kill the projectile. This reduces the RNG of this fight as a result. Here, honestly, if Guillotine is the one getting hit, it's fine. Because if Guillotine gets hit, it just means she gets to hit harder back. So that's pretty good. And at the end of the day, she also will just regen everything anyway through Marciana. So here, you don't burst. Bursting is bad. You just kill them passively like this. No problem. When you see the next wave pop up, you just burst with Made Private. She's just going to one-shot it. Once you've destroyed both parts, the first port, which have the lowest HP, start working on the second one here. And here, very important, swap to D, full charge 2 time, and then just spam shot. Then burst with Private. This is really important because it stubs their attack, gives you more time to kill them, and basically makes the whole stage safe. Now, if you wonder why that matters, these are buffed by Mother Whale, so what ends up happening is if they get to shoot, you die. There's no in-between. You're dead if this happens. So yeah, here you can burst as much as you can, break that part, try to break the other part. So here's the thing, right? Something that people may not have realized. I've changed the order of how I'm bursting here, because I am bursting with Guillotine here. 2 reasons, one of which is just because it does more damage, because there's only Mother Whale on the map. But second, because I don't want Made Private's burst to be on cooldown. If you burst with Private on the next burst, you're dead! I'll explain why once they show up, to say the least. So these elite mobs, you can stun them with Private E, but what ends up happening is that they will just shoot a little later. It does not help you. It does not make it easier for you to survive. It simply will get you killed. So what's important here is just to do damage. However, you don't want to burst right away. You want to have the burst ready, but you don't want to burst right away. Once you start taking damage, then you can burst. Why is that? Because Marciana heals on burst. So you're able to offset some of the damage you're taking from these fellas over here, and as a result, potentially survive. And then you want to cover because toward the end, some of them will be able to miss you as a result. Brevity died here. It doesn't matter. You're fine. I too thought I was going to have to restart, but no, I didn't. So now, it's prime time for, you know, Guillotine to just break parts, which is great, because our HP is low. And here, because your HP is finite, you have to make sure that you don't die, right? But you want to do as much damage as possible. So here, same deal as last time. You just kill them normally. And here you just AoE like this. And then back to doing damage. The best part about this second phase of like spawning stuff here is that there's not a third wave of mobs. Why does this matter? Well, you know, if you're at absurd DP deficit, this attack will slaughter your entire team. No fucking questions asked. However, because you're doing Elysian Tower, your deficit is not going to be that large to begin with. So you're able to just tank this. And yeah, after that is just do damage, break the part as much as you can, and plop, down to 24 bars of HP. The second wave of Elite is lethal. Thankfully, you can just kill it by then. It's that simple. The key points are very simple. You really, first and foremost, also yeah, the damage is going to look wrong because Private E gets to destroy rubble, and the rubble counts as damage. But the major point is that you don't want to burst for the first wave. You want to burst for the second wave. And then you want to really quickly burst with Private E on this wave. This is the most dangerous wave, and it only appears once in the entire fight. Okay? So you genuinely have to get to, like, respect it. It is the most frustrating part of this fight. And then the other thing is, you really want to be bursting Guillotine here. Because if you don't burst Guillotine, Made Private E will be on cooldown. And, yeah. You don't want that. You want Made Private E for the next burst. And here, you don't want to burst with just base Private E. For the most part, this is pretty RNG free. You can use Private E as a sacrificial lamb for the second wave, because as I said, there's no third wave to stun, right? So Private E as a result is not required for the rest of the fight. You can just do damage. Now ideally you keep everyone alive, right? You keep everyone alive, everything's Gucci, you can do more damage as a result, that's great. But if you're dealing with really high deficit, you can probably just say, nah bro, I ain't doing that, and just do what I just said to do. Leave her to die and do damage to kill it. But yeah, this is pretty straightforward. I just thought I'd make a video on it because, you know, when you don't realize the burst order, when it's better to just hold down on burst, you don't realize the strategy for this. But then again, in my case, I didn't know the first time either. I just figured it out on the second one by sheer luck. And it worked out. So yeah, again, hopefully this helps some people. Just an easy one on the side. As for the rest, have a nice rest of the day, everyone. I'll see you all next time. See ya.